I want to speak to you about a mega business loan from One Park Financial. Maximum loan amount, $500,000, no credit check. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as splendid as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about a king-size business loan from One Park Financial. Maximum loan amount, $500,000, no credit check. Before I get into the actual loan description, please understand that this video is purely and strictly instructional, informative, and educational. We have no relationship, no association, no affiliation to the lender, One Park Financial. They have not paid us to do this video. We're just doing this for information purposes, okay? Let's talk about the loan facts. There are two types of loans when you, business loans, when you talk to One Park Financial. You have merchant cash advances and you have term loans. The amount will oscillate between $5,000 and $500,000. The APR between 9.99% and 29.99%. There are no fees. The term will fluctuate between 2 and 12 months. The time to funding up to 3 days. And there are no extra conditions, all right? One thing I want to say here is that in the last 5 years, One Park has done a great job. They have streamlined their processes when it comes to putting borrowers into contact with lenders. And they do this because they're not a direct lender themselves. They are a loan marketplace. They have a network of lenders that they work with. And what they do is they want to get the information from the borrowers. They quickly just send the info to the lenders. They have about 20 to 25 lenders, highly selected, very highly credible institutions, alternative lenders, traditional banks, and some insurance companies. What we love with One Park Financial is that you have some kind of payment flexibility. Okay, so you're able to adjust your payments if your business performance changes. Remember that when we speak about the $500,000, it's a merchant cash advance and also a term loan. So sometimes you can, if you apply for the merchant cash advance, you're able to pay on a daily basis, whatever works for you on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly basis. The bottom line here is that you're able to pay the loan back as you wish. Okay, it really depends upon your situation. It depends upon your business's performance, and so on and so forth. I want to quickly talk to you about. I want to give you a synopsis, a recap of this lender. Who is One Park Financial? But before I do this, please, folks, let me remind you that I'm speaking about a massive business loan from One Park Financial. Maximum loan amount, $500,000. No credit check needed. And we love the fact that this company has been around for a while. One Park Financial is not a direct lender, as I just said. They have teamed with 20 to 25 lending partners to provide funding opportunities to business owners like you. Especially if you don't qualify for traditional loan options, you might want to go to One Park Financial. They're a little bit expensive though, which is why I'm just telling you it's better that you contact them after you have applied for loans at traditional institutions and you don't qualify. And the cool thing here is that we are talking about, when we speak about One Park Financial, we are speaking mainly about revenue-based funding. So even though I said they provide merchant cash advances and term loans, the core part of their business is merchant cash advances. They might be doing some term loan transactions for every now and then, but they really focus on merchant cash advances. So after evaluating One Park Financial on tens of criteria, including loan variety, loan amount generosity, the cost, the reputation, the customer service, we have assigned this company a score of 9.5 over 10. Okay, for us, this is an excellent score, And if you go online, you go to the review website called Trustpilot, you would see that as of the date of today's show, this company received 654 reviews and an aggregate score of 4.6 stars out of 5. This is pretty good. And so what are the pros and cons of this lender? Financing is available for qualified startups. That's the pros. Low credit score requirements. Can you believe they're only asking for 450? That's the minimum requirement in terms of FICO. That's wonderful. 450. No collateral is required. The application process is fast and easy. The cons, rates can be expensive. I said that before. Financing is not available in some states, and some additional fees may be charged. Now, those fees are not coming from One Park Financial, but they may come from the lender, the direct lender, because One Park Financial is just the platform. They will connect you. They will make a little cut. They make some commission from the lender, but not from you. And another drawback is that repayments are required frequently. Now let's talk about eligibility. What are the criteria for eligibility? Again, this is a massive business loan from One Park Financial. Maximum loan amount $500,000. Okay, and what we're saying here is that to qualify for this loan, of course, One Park Financial is not a direct lender, but they have actually they have worked with their partners, and they have come up with a list of criteria that all business borrowers must meet to qualify for any loan on their platform. So years in business, you got to be at least in business for 3 months. Annual revenue, $90,000 minimum. In other words, that equates to what? $7,500 minimum a month. This is pretty reasonable. There is no origination fee. Your credit score must be minimum 450. I think this is just so low. I think this is everybody in the States has at least a 450 credit score. I mean, at least those who have a credit history, I guess. And they do work with all kinds of industries. As long as your industry is legit, is not illegal, they're fine. And if you have some credit concerns, no problem, they'll work with you. One thing I want to say that is that in general, if you want to qualify for a loan with One Park Financial on the platform, be ready to submit a business plan. The lenders are known on that platform. The lenders are known to request frequently business plan as well as projected data, and not just any kind of projected data. They want to have projected income statements. So they might ask you, for example, to provide historical data about your income statements, but also your projections for the next, let's say for the next 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, depending upon the lender. And it also depends on the loan term. The term for the merchant cash advance, right? If you say you want 6 months or you want 9 months, then they might be asking you for projected data for the next 6 months or 9 months. And in some cases, they might ask for your business credit score. Even though they're able to pull that themselves, they might ask for your business credit score. If you don't have a high credit score at the business level, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, but if you have it, that's fine also. Now let me talk to you about the use of loan proceeds. Again, in this show, folks, I am speaking to you about an enormous business loan from One Park Financial or one of their lending partners. Okay, it can be a merchant cash advance or another type of revenue-based term loan. What it is that when you get the cash, the $500,000, I mean, you might qualify for maybe $250,000 or $100,000 depending upon your situation, but it's all good. The maximum is $500,000, and you can use the money for a constellation of purposes. You know, you can use the cash for hiring. Are you looking to hire? Are you in an industry that is seasonal? Has business picked up, and do you need to hire, let's say, seasonal staff? You can use the cash for that. Equipment, you can use the money to buy equipment, right? You can use the money for marketing purposes. You can use the money for business expansion, inventory, and working capital. And the list here, of course, is not exhaustive. As long as you have a legit reason for the funds, then you should be fine. Make sure that you just document. You can document that in your business plan, in your updated business plan. You can also mention that in the loan application. You can mention that when you speak to a representative from One Park Financial, if that's what you want. Remember that when we speak about merchant cash advances or revenue-based financing, revenue-based term loan, business term loans, everything starts from the revenue. So for MCAs, for example, for merchant cash advances, you got to have credit card sales and debit card sales. Credit card or debit card. It has to be card sales because this is how they can, the lender can evaluate the performance of your business, because they're going to request from you a copy or copies of your credit card processing statements. Okay, and it's important to have that. So if you, let's say if you are in a business where you sell everything cash, you just get paid cash, which I don't recommend anyway, for that matter, you would not qualify. You wouldn't qualify for this loan from One Park Financial. You got to have card transactions, credit card or debit card transactions. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I'm still talking to you here about a colossal business loan from One Park Financial. We are talking about a maximum loan amount of $500,000, $500,000. Okay, so we're talking about a cash advance, a merchant cash advance, or any other type of revenue-based business term loan. Okay, and so let's talk about the evidence needed. What kind of evidence does One Park Financial or its lender want? Its lending partner, right? Because the requirements are different by lender, but overall, we have a pretty good list of the evidential matter that the lender will request from you. First of all, they want to have a business plan. This is important. They want to have an idea of what your business is. If a business plan is too long, you might want to shorten it. You might want to create something called a business pitch. It can be a 10-page pitch in PowerPoint or Word, where you talk about the business. You just summarize stuff for the lender. Make sure in your business plan that you have clear financial statements. They will ask you to send them copies of your credit card processing statements, your business financial statements, so your balance sheets, your income statements, your statement of cash flows, and your statement of owner's equity, because they want to have an idea of who is behind the company, who are the owners. And you can get that info on the financial statement called Statement of Stockholders' Equity. And the lender might also want to see copies of your most recent income tax returns at the personal level and at the business level, so the last 3 years. So make sure, first of all, if I hadn't said it before, it's pretty understood that to qualify for this loan from One Park Financial, you got to be a business, right? You got to have an EIN. You can't be a sole proprietorship. You can't run this as a side gig and expect to get such a high amount in loan. No, you got to have a legit business that has an EIN. What I'm trying to say here is that when we speak about income tax returns, you got to send to the lender a 1065 or 1120 or 1120C or 1120S. Okay, and you also need to provide other kinds of legal documents, including your business licenses and registrations, articles of incorporation, articles of organization, depending upon the legal structure that you have, whether you have a C Corp or S Corp or LLC. If you have LLCs, they want to see articles of organization and franchise agreements, if applicable, commercial leases, and copies of contracts you have with any third parties. I want to talk to you now about how to apply. And with One Park Financial, you have a streamlined process here. You can apply. Their preferred method is to apply through the web. They have a series of Q&A, series of questions that will help you. That will help them pre-qualify you. But you can also call them and have a conversation with them. You can apply via email or fax. If after you speak with the representative, if they tell you go ahead and do this, then go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you want to pre-qualify, you can pre-qualify within 2 or 3 minutes. So let me just walk you through some of the questions that you would actually answer if you were to apply online for a pre-qualification. Remember, this is strictly for pre-qualification, okay? In other words, they're just sensing what kind of credit worthiness you have, and they will send you an offer based on the pre-qualification, the preliminary data you send them. So first, they're asking you, is your business currently open? They want to have an idea of your revenue last month, the date your business started, whether or not you have a business checking account with your name on it. This is very important. You got to have a business checking account. This is what I was telling you earlier. You have to operate your business as a business, not as a sole proprietorship, not as a side gig. Okay. They want to know if you have an active bankruptcy. They want to have an idea of your funding needs. Now they want to have a clear idea about the company name. They want to have your email, your phone number, and your full name. So at this point, you can stop here and you can have a rep call you and discuss the application, or you can continue with the actual application. So if you stop there, then you can have you just to qualify for you can actually you go through the pre-qualification process, and you can just have a conversation with the rep. But if you want, you can continue with the actual application. So we're showing you right now on the screen. So you want to provide general information about the business, how the money will be used, and so on and so forth, that kind of questions. They want to have some information about the company, whether it is LLC, sole proprietorship, and so on and so forth. Some data about the owner. And then they want to have a validation through DocuSign. And then you submit. Let me give you a few pro tips here, folks. I'm still speaking to you about a very large business loan from One Park Financial. And the business loan, the maximum amount is $500,000. And this is principally a merchant cash advance or any other type of revenue-based financing arrangement, revenue-based business term loan, okay? And so, in other words, everything is based on your revenue. So once you actually validate everything through DocuSign and submit, don't stop there. You want to contact the company to have to track your application process. They might contact you for additional information. If they do, please respond promptly. They love borrowers who are very quick in responding to them. And that way your application will move up the ladder very quick, and it will be signed. And one thing you also need to do is that you need to, if anything changes in your business model while the application is pending, make sure that you notify them quickly. You want to notify them ASAP. For example, let's say you send them a business plan, and in the meantime, something has changed in your company and you have updated your business plan. You want to send them the updated business plan. In other words, you want the lending partner of One Park Financial, who is taking care of your loan, to make sure they have all the information needed to make an informed decision. It's just you being fair to the other party, okay? And you need to always demonstrate enough cash flow. Cash flow is very important, especially when we talk about merchant cash advance or revenue-based business term loans. It's important to understand that revenue is important, but most importantly, cash flows. Because you can have revenue, you can be selling stuff, but if your clients aren't paying you, if your customers aren't paying on time, you have sales on the books, but you're having a problem with cash. In other words, you're broke. Your company is broke, but you do have sales on the books, right? So that's why lenders such as One Park Financial's lending partners, they pay more attention to cash flows. So you got to be able to demonstrate that you have sufficient cash flows within the company. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you quickly about a humongous business loan from One Park Financial, up to $500,000. And I've spoken to you about the loan, the facts about the loan, right? So this is a merchant cash advance or another type of a revenue-based financing arrangements. And I spoke to you about the lender. Actually, it's not the lender, it's more the platform. One Park Financial is a platform. They're not a direct lender, but you know what I mean. And I spoke to you about eligibility criteria, use of loan proceeds, evidence needed, how to apply, and pro tips. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I will see you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.